Mesa students and advisors. Karen Henderson here, the Mesa advisor for Parkrose High School, to talk to you a little bit about Google Forms and how to use Google Forms to create your user testing feedback form that you'll be using in a couple of weeks. So the first thing I wanted to show you is how you access that and share it with the members of your team. So you're going to want to be in your Invention Journey notebook, and you're going to come over to the test. It's probably the first time that you've been into here. You're going to find two links on this page that will be useful. Your user template, where you're going to plan out some of the user testing that you're going to be doing. And then the user testing feedback form, which is what I'm going to talk you through right now. Now remember, you always have to go up to the preview mode and move into the view site of, or the view mode of your site to be able to click and to get to that user testing form. So I'm going to go ahead and make the copy, because this is going to be my user testing form for my team. And it's going to bring me into the user testing feedback form. Now remember, the easiest way to share it is to click back into your Invention Journey notebook and to go ahead and click onto the plus. So I'm going to get out of the preview mode, the view mode, and into edit. And then if I click on the plus here to upload my feedback form, then I can select from Drive. Since I've opened it up, it should be in there. I can click Recent, which is always how I access my files. And then I should be able to find that copy of my user testing feedback form. I'm going to put that right in here. So this is my user testing feedback form now that is my group's. And I can even click out there now, and I can work on it, and my team can work on it at the same time. So if somebody is available to help me, they can help me with this too. Now you will have to click down here in the bottom right corner, if you open it that way, into the edit, so that you have those tools to be able to switch up the questions and make this your own. So let me kind of show you what's there already, and then how you select question types, how you add the information in there, and how you make this really useful for you for collecting feedback as you demonstrate your project to your user and others who might give you some helpful critiques and tell you what they love about the design that you have. So first of all, you should always be in the questions section when you are doing your editing. You're going to find it's going to ask for your user's email addresses. This will help you link up the user to the data that they've given you, allow you to go back in for follow-up questions, and pick your user, the one who you designed this product for, from the rest of the people that you're testing your project out on, which is a really useful thing to have. And then you'll see a bunch of questions kind of layered in that will give you ideas for what you might want to ask your questions about to your user. You can go into any of these questions and you can edit them. So I'm going to click into this one, for instance, which is just this thing that says you can do all these pieces. And I want to show you some of these. So it says you can click on each question to change it. You can remove questions by clicking on the delete button. You can add questions by clicking on the plus button. You can move things around by using these 6 dots. If I wanted to move this up here, I can just drag it up, and I can ask whatever kinds of questions I'd like. I can also choose the type of question I want. So right now I've got a multiple choice question, so I could add something in there like, what is your favorite color? Which I'm probably not going to ask right here. And then I can use a multiple choice. I could put in red, and then I can add an option and put in blue. And it'll give a checklist where a person has to choose their correct answer. I'm going to get rid of this one. I can also, if I want to, I'm going to add another one. I'm going to move it up just so that it's my trial. I can also do something which is a checkbox. Give them lots of options and let them check as many as are relevant to them. I can choose a drop-down list. I don't do that one very often, so I won't show you that. But what I do like is the linear scale, where I can say, how confident are you that you could use this? Or how much did you like this feature? And I can give it a scale of 1 to 5 and say 1 is didn't like it, and 5 is loved it. And then my user can actually tell me between that scale of 1 to 5 what they thought about my project, which is something that I really, really like. So I'm going to delete that one too, since it's a fake one. So these are the questions that are there. So ask about relevant identities. You're going to want to ask, what is their race? What is their ethnicity? What is their age, gender? You might have several of these. And you really want to think about what identities do you need to know about to know whether this user is really representative of the group that you are designing this product for. One thing I'd tell you is that you always want to make sure you have this required button on if you want every one of your users to answer it. If you don't have the required button on, it allows them to skip it, which is something that's kind of not something that you might want to do. So say you set one up for race, you've got exactly the same type of question you want to do for ethnicity. You can duplicate a question by clicking on this double. it'll bring it again. You can change it up a little bit, and then you can still have those same relevant options there. And you would add your options just by clicking here. So say I want to do what is your age? I could do 0 to 10 years. I could add the option. I could do 11 to 20 years. I can add as many of those options as I want. So that's something that is going to be really useful for me. And you might want to ask about their experience as well. So have they experienced the barrier that your user has experienced, the problem that you're trying to solve? You might want to ask them, well, any other relevant information to your project. So one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to upload a video of your testing video. You'll use your template to record that into this form so that your users can watch your demonstration and then give you the feedback on it. This will mean that you don't actually have to demonstrate for every user. You'll record it, and then every person you want to test on will simply watch it and then give you that feedback that you need. So it makes it really very easy to distribute this testing protocol to as many people as you have access to over email or over computer. So that's going to be something that's really good. And you can watch this video, which will give you instructions of how to do that. But there's basically an add video button that you'll click, and then you'll add that in. So feel free to use that if you want. Once your users have watched your video, then you're going to ask them to give you some information about like what they thought about your product. Good idea to include some like what's your overall impression. There's an example of that linear scale. You might want to ask about strengths. So thinking about what are those relevant product features you might want them to consider as strengths. Weaknesses might have the same list or different ones. You might want to ask questions about specific aspects of your design. So like the appearance of it, the usability, the size, the price. You might want to ask some follow-up questions, and you might decide if you want to leave those follow-up questions not required so that if they don't have additional information to give, they can skip that and move on to your next question. But you do want to think really carefully about whether you want those to be required or not. You can ask them questions about, like, would they prefer something? Give them 2 options, make them choose one. You can give open-ended questions, so long answer text and short answer text. I'd always advise a long answer so they can write as much as they want for their questions, for their ideas that they have, for additional comments. And remember that when you get into some of these pieces, like the specific, you might want to ask several questions here by making that duplicate button, asking about appearance here, asking about size here, usability next. Whatever you think is information that you want, you're going to want to go ahead and add that on. All right, once you have that done, I'm going to just get rid of this one again. Once you have your feedback form completed, then you're ready to send it to whoever you want to send it to. And my advice is to come up here to where it says send, and when you click on it, it's going to give you some information for how you can do that. So you can send via email, you could put email addresses in. That I think is a big pain because then you need to input those all in. If you click on this paperclip, it's going to give you a link. You can shorten the URL to make it easier. You can copy that, and then you can put that into social media, into a website, into a bunch of emails, or email it out to specific people. You can share it with teachers to post on their websites. There's a lot of ways that you can share that out, that you can make that something that people will watch and give you lots of feedback for, so that next week you'll be able to look at your data. So I'm going to cancel that for now. Once you've sent your form out and people have responded to it, then next week you'll come over and you'll click on the responses. And right now I have 0 responses, but next week when I come back, hopefully if I've shared it out, then I'll have, I don't know, 10, 20, maybe even more than that responses that I can look at, and I can see what are the answers to each individual's to my questions. So really good tool for collecting some feedback about your product. All right, I hope that was helpful. That's how you use Google Forms. That's what the user testing feedback form looks like. And good luck. I'm hoping that works really well for you.